What's good, Evertale homies? Hey, I know it's been a while, y'all, but I'm still trying to figure out how to format how I want to do Evertale reviews. So I'm thinking this might be it, right? When they release new units like this, because I don't really have the motivate. Evertale, man. It's like that, it's gonna always be here. I'll play it if it's here, I guess. Anyway, so Mega Kaguya, right? She's gonna be that new dark poison unit. She looks strong. She looks like this is the one that you want, and I think she's going to be great against burn teams. Also, because poison normally is strong against burn, right? Her first active skill, 250 damage to 2 enemies, scales up to 500% damage if the user has stealth. So she's going to be a stealth and poison unit. And she ignores stealth with this attack, right? It also ignores counter stance, which is going to be important because Zoro has counter stance, right? So Mega Poison and stuns for 200 TU, stuns for 30 TU. And she's granted a stealth shield, stealth and stealth shield. Second skill, Shadow Split, targets one enemy. If the enemy is poisoned, deals 400% damage. If the user survived for 200 plus TU on the battlefield, 600% more damage, right? And this looks to be her execute skill, so this is going to ignore all that, the non-boss effects, right? The hold ground, passives, kills, eliminates. If they kill it, no HP, you're gone, son. Which is basically the new standard. Every new unit's going to probably have an execute skill or something comparable, right? So next, Crippling Toxin. This stuns one Mega Poisoned enemy for 200 TU. Then grants them a Burn Ward? Hey, what was I talking about? Her being good against burn teams, right? It's built in for her. And then it lethal poisons them for 999 TU. However, these effects can only be applied if the target is Mega Poison. It can be redirected by a stun absorber. Usable only if there is no more than one enemy with the lethal poison status effect on the battlefield, and cannot be used if there is a non-mega poisoned enemy stun absorber on the battlefield. Okay, a little bit of restrictions, but that's not too bad, right? I do wonder how that will affect like burn teams though, because they're not affected by stun, but they don't necessarily have a stun absorber either, right? So anyways, Hypnotic Eye. Hypnotism is back, right? So this is going to take the enemy with the lowest TU, Mega Poison for 200 TU, and hypnotize that enemy, right? Just kind of like Loki, think about it like that. This skill does become locked for 90 TU after use, which isn't that long, honestly, for a Hypnotism skill, and it'll just take their turn once they get it, right? So that's strong to have also. Hey man, Mega Kaguya, if you have a poison team, hey, she might be the one to pick up, right? So Harsh Venom, this is the passives right now. If no enemy is Mega Poisoned already, one of these random effects is going to happen after each enemy turn, right? So either Mega Poison for 200 TU, or she's healed for 1% of her max HP, or this unit is granted a Poison Ward and a Stealth. And then whenever an enemy enters from reinforcements, she's healed for 1% of her own max HP, and then also is granted Stealth and a Poison Ward. So she can kind of negate some of the own poison that's going to be thrown against her when you do poison versus poison. Moon Shadow. So this unit would be defeated by an enemy attack or status effect by having, so basically it's her hold ground, right? And she also has the 65% damage reduction from attacks if this unit has the stealth status effect, which should have stealth most of the time, right? And there's a lot of stealth allies that can help give her stealth and stealth shields. And for her last effects, right, triggered when this unit enters the battlefield from allied reinforcements, and when this unit is defeated by an enemy's attack, all enemies are stunned for 50 TU. All enemies are poisoned, Mega Poison for 200 TUs, and that cannot be overridden by other status effects. I don't know if the stun immunity is going to be in her original kit, but like I was saying, I'm looking at all the enemies at stage 10, all the Mega Zoros, all the Mega whatever. We'll look at Zoro in depth since she's up, right? But their skills are so comparable, and I'll show you what I mean too when I get to Zoro. So, Mega Kirin, or when Kirin comes out, she looks like she's going to be the new stun unit of these trios. Her first skill, 300% damage to one enemy, and a random enemy is stunned for 50 TU. This attack ignores damage reduction effect, and that's going to be very important because everybody's getting like that increased damage reduction, right? 65%, 80%. It just keeps coming. It also ignores counter stance, and she becomes enraged, right? And she does have a couple of conditions where she can not still turns, but get the turn immediately after using that skill for the first time, or if it's been a while, right? Divine Storms, yes, this is basically a spirit manipulation skill. Bro, doubles the spirit from allies, right? And it halves the spirit reduced from enemies. Then she purifies all allies. One random enemy is stunned for 50 TU. However, this is locked each turn she uses it, but it's unlocked again if she damages an enemy with any attack. But it does state that it cannot be used again until after 50 TU, right? Divine Lightning. Yes, Divine Lightning is next. This is an attack all skill, right? 100% damage for each target at 50 TU. Whoa, this is just 100% damage. 500% damage if they have 50 TU or more, and then 600% damage if they're over 100 TU. Man. Also, we have a little RNG down here. It's either going to be, this is always going to be an execute skill, so it'll kill anybody. However, it also has a 25% chance to immediately eliminate an enemy if they have at least 1 HP, if they survive 1 HP. So that's like your hold grounds, right? You get them to 1 HP, there's 25% chance to eliminate them. Each enemy has a 25% chance. It's not just a one-time thing, right? Now this sounds strong. She sounds real strong, but Storm has kind of been struggling in the meta, right? So she's somebody that I would probably pick up the next banner she comes around after she's been proven in the meta. Call of Storm. Looks like her instant skill, and it's a pullback skill. So her passives obviously is going to have something to do with her entering from reinforcements, right? So pullback skill adds 1 Den Moris to reinforcements if there's no other units, and only usable if the user has used Divine Lightning while on the battlefield, right? So usable only 5 times per battle. So that's more of a war skill for the most part, and you know, if there's nobody in the reinforcements, they'll add more Den Moris up to 4. So let's look at her passive. So this is gonna go hand in hand with her pullback skill, right? Stormy Rain. So her Stormy Rain passive. So what does she do? Stuns 2 enemies for 100 TU, purifies all allies, gives them a turn, the lowest TU gives them a turn, and then if she survives until her next turn, stuns 2 enemies again. Lots of stuns, lots of stuns. However, it's still redirected by stun absorbers, right? So remember that. That's all I'm saying. Lots of stuns. It looks good on paper, but stun absorbers are a thing. On to her last passive, Kirin's Strength. So basically, this is her whole ground skill. That's what it looks like. Yep. This unit will be healed for 1% of its max HP each time an ally gets a turn. That seems to be a thing, right? A little bit more survivability. And she also has 50% damage reduction from attacks if this unit has 50% or more of its max HP, and if the enemy has 100 TU or more, right? So she does have that damage reduction. So let's take a look at Zoro. Here she is, the lady of the hour. She is still up on banners right now, right? So like I was saying, if you look on Reddit or wherever, like these are the boss skills for the Mega Zoro, right? They're almost the same, basically identical. There's going to be a few little things like Mega Kirin or whatever. She's probably not going to be sleep immunity. I don't think so. But they're active skills, and at least like the first 2 passive skills usually are close enough, especially in this day and age where everything's crazy, so they don't even need to nerf bosses anymore, right? Alright, so let's take a look at Zoro real quick. Tandem Takedown. So this is a ×1 attack skill, right? 250% damage to 1 enemy. 500% instead if an ally has 52 or less. And then also she gives the turn to the lowest TU ally. And then this attack also does not wake up sleeping enemies. So she looks like she's gonna fit very well into a sleep team or curse sleep team, right? This is being a thing where they're making the light units more of a sleep unit. For her next skill, we got En Grande. So this is going to be a weaken skill. Weakens everybody, and it gives her all the wards. She gets at least 1 ward for everything, for the most part. 80% damage reduction until the next attack. And she's also enraged during this process, right? So she gains counter stance for 150 TU. And it's locked after each use, but it's unlocked again after she damages the enemy with an attack. So Zoro is a DPS machine for the most part. I don't think she's gonna, I guess steamroll is the correct word, right? She's not gonna just go in. Kajiro just hammers people. Destroy, destroy, destroy. She might take a little bit more time, but I do see that she has a lot more value depending on the team comps that you're gonna run. Because not waking up sleeping enemies and also having this kind of skill set with the counter stance, with this strong ass attack, she is stronger than Kajiro, and she just has a lot of things going for her that I really like, and I think she is going to help with that burn meta, right? So now we have Double Phoenix, 700% damage to 2 enemies. This attack ignores stealth effect, right? So Mega Kaguya's coming up. They're selling you the answer to the problem. However, this is what I like about her that Kajiro doesn't necessarily have, is this hold ground plus passive, and it is resettable up to 3 times, right? So it is like a time clock, but she does have the hold ground plus passive, which I thoroughly enjoy. I love hold ground plus, but they are making units now where hold ground plus isn't going to be that relevant. Look at Kirin. However, for her 4th skill, this is a survivor skill. Look at this, ignores guardians. It does 600% damage to 1 enemy, and this is her execute skill for the most part, but it is locked for 200 TU. But she should be able to survive for 200 TU, but it's locked behind a wall, so she's not too strong at the start. You do have to wait for it, right? Moving on to her passives, one step ahead. I really thoroughly enjoyed this passive, and this is what's going to make and break Zoro as a unit, in my opinion. She heals, so that's sustainability, heals 100% of total damage dealt. TU reduction for every ally attack. Every time an ally gets attacked, her TU is going to go down. She's going to be getting turns pretty freaking fast, right? Counter stance. She also gets counter stance if she has over 150 TU. She has stun precautions built in. And attack all skills, right? That means they're going to reduce her TU tremendously. Kajiro, attack all skill. We got Dark Kaguya coming up. Most people are going to try to get her. Attack all skill. You got to think about it. Oh my gosh, she's going to be getting mad turns. And a lot of these burn teams have attack all skills, TU reduction, and she's going to be fitting very well in a sleep team, right? Not waking up sleeping enemies. She's going to be getting turns, and then look at her final passive. We're moving on to the end, right? Still resolve. Zoro, man. Hey, if y'all ever look me up on Discord, I got Zoro as my avatar. Not this one, though. The one from One Piece, by the way. Anyways, so still resolve. Immovable. Oh, well, this is her hold ground plus passive that is resettable, but she's also immovable, so she can't be sent to reinforcements. More sustainability over here. If you have more than 5 spirit, every time a unit gets the turn, then she's going to heal for 30% of her max HP. And then whenever this unit defeats a non-conjured unit on the battlefield with an attack, all allies are healed for 100% of their max HP, and also all allies are purified. This includes Mega Healing Burn, so she won't be able to use on an effective burn team, right? For the most part. So comparing her to Kajiro, y'all gotta think about it, man. So Kajiro, right now, she is very strong, and I love me some Kajiro. Mine's maxed out. But Kajiro, if we're comparing them, Zoro is stronger than Kajiro, right? She does have a hold ground plus. Kajiro does have that immediate delete, but Zoro, she's strong enough to where her attacks aren't gonna matter if she hits him with her execute skill. 9 times out of 10. If she's fully awakened, if she's going hard, she's gonna delete him too. Right? Kajiro does have counter stance, but so does Zoro. They're very similar, but Zoro and Kajiro, they're comparable. I do think Zoro has a slight edge. If it just depends on team comps, honestly. That's all it does. That's what it depends on. So, guys, hopefully you guys like this little segment, and I'll probably continue doing it this way from now on. However, you gotta remember, I'm just throwing out my thoughts, my information, first impressions on these units. I think Dark Kaguya is going to be the strongest. I do think Zoro is going to help counter Dark Kaguya and also help counter these burn metas or these burn class that everybody's running into and they're having a hard time with. So Zoro is going to have some kind of viability. So with Dark Kaguya, Kirin, I'm not too sure about, but hey, she could be awesome too, honestly. But I would wait for like the next banner rotation for Kirin. So those are my opinions. And the way Evertale was set up, y'all, is that you're supposed to be getting all the new units. Because all 3 of these units can make a really good team, honestly. So, hey, Omnikaya.
Baby, I'm bad. I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad. Do it no cap. Only got one, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag. Stadium